In this video, we're going to show you how to replace the rear drum brakes on your Toyota Tacoma. This will be located behind the rear wheel. Let's get started. Using a 21mm socket, remove the 6 lug nuts. Remove the wheel. Remove the rear drum. Wiggle it back and forth. You may have to go around with a hammer and tap on the outside to try and loosen up the shoes in between the drum. Ours is pretty rust welded on, so the other option you have is using bolts going through the rotor to help it push it off. Remove the drum. We're going to use a right angle pick to remove the top spring. Pop it out of place. I was prying off of the hub to help me on that one. We're going to go to the bottom. We're going to remove the spring on the bottom as well. There's one more spring right here. Pop this spring only off of this lever. You can leave it attached over here. We're going to remove the spring and lock from the pin. We're going to use a hand on the back side and hold the pin down. You can use a pair of pliers or a drum brake toolkit. We're going to push down on this lock, turn it to the unlock position, and let it pop off. You can remove the spring in the lock. You can pull the pin out of the back. Remove the left assembly. Do the same thing on the other side. Remove the spring in the lock. Remove the pin. Let the assembly dangle down. Twist the assembly over. You'll find the slot. We're going to use a pair of pliers. Pull up on the spring. As we pull up on the spring, we're going to pull our cable down and out of the slot, removing the assembly. Using brake parts cleaner, we're going to spray the backing plate, getting all of the brake dust off of it. When you're doing this, you want to avoid spraying the rubber for the wheel cylinder. We're going to use a wire brush and clean all the contact points for our shoes. Repeat the same process on the other side. While we're going around and cleaning, we're going to clean the hub. Get the hub nice and clean. We're going to grease all of our contact points. Do the same thing on the other side. We're going to take apart our drum brake assemblies. We're going to take this spring, push it straight back, and pull it off. We We can now take that lever and wiggle it off that pin. Disconnect the spring. Remove the spring. Remove the lever. We can remove this shoe. Before removing our assembly here, we have to remove these two horseshoe clips and use a pair of channel lock pliers. I'm going to put this top jaw on this pin, and we're going to use this bottom jaw to push the bottom of the clip. Push the clip up. You can use a flat blade screwdriver, get behind it, twist, and pull the clip out. Don't lose the clips. Do the same thing on the top horseshoe. This horseshoe clip broke on us, so we're going to need to replace this. If this happens to you, you will need to replace the clip. Remove the top lever. Remove the bottom lever. Remove the adjuster and the spring. We're going to take our adjuster apart. We're going to pull the spring to the side. You can remove the end piece. We're going to unscrew the adjuster all of the way. And we can pull the front piece out of the spring. We're going to go through and clean all of our parts. You can use parts cleaner in a rag. You could also use a wire brush and clean them off. You don't have to clean them off, it's just a good idea. We're going to take a few minutes and go through all of our parts and clean them up. We're going to assemble our drum brake assemblies. We're going to put a little bit of lube on our adjuster screw. Screw the adjuster all the way down. We're going to put a dab of lube onto here. Install the outside part of the adjuster. Grab the shoe with two pins. On this top pin, we're going to install our lever. Our spring is going to attach down onto this hole. Use a right angle pick to help us put it in place. Like so. Sure it moves freely. Install the lever onto the bottom pin. We're going to take our spring and install that onto the pin. Install the adjuster and the spring. Install the spring into the shoe. Be sure the adjuster is riding right here. We're going to install the bottom arm. Install the adjuster over the arm in the shoe. Install the top arm. Install the clips. And squeeze them. Lock them into place. Now we're ready to install the assemblies onto the car. Grab the spring. Using a pair of locking pliers, we're going to pull up on that spring. And I'm going to lock the spring up there. Grab the shoe assembly with the e-brake cable lever. We're going to flip it over. Install our cable. let go on the locking pliers, twist the assembly up, install the adjuster under the wheel cylinder, get the pad installed into the wheel cylinder, install the pin through the back of the backing plate, through the front of the shoe. We're going to install the spring and lock over our pin, and using a pair of pliers or a drum brake tool, we're going to push down, get the pin through the lock, give it a quarter twist, and lock it in place. And do the same thing with our other assembly. There's no e-brake cable on this one. Install the shoe into place, grab the pin, put it through the backing plate, through the shoe, lock it into place. We're going to push our shoes together until they bottom out. Get the adjuster installed. Pull the spring over and install it into the shoe. Be sure that our levers are lined up, making sure the left shoe is riding inside of this right. We're going to grab our spring, pull it over the lever. Everything's nice and square. We'll install our bottom spring. We're going to use a bit of Never Seez on the hub. I'm just going to wipe this around and cover all of the hub. This will help prevent rust coming back. Using some brake parts cleaner and a clean rag, we're going to spray our drum and clean all of the oil off. Flip it over and do the same thing on the inside. Install the drum onto the vehicle. To adjust the shoes, we're going to go through the back of the backing plate, and we're going to get onto our star wheel, and we want to adjust these until when we spin the rotor, you can just barely hear the shoe dragging, just like that. We're going to use our copper Never Seez one more time for the front where the wheel is going to sit. Wipe it on the face. Install the wheel. Get the lug nuts started. Snug them down. Torque the lug nuts in a star pattern to 85 foot-pounds. And you're good to go.
When only the best will do, demand TRQ. The only company that lets you view before you do. TRQ is committed to offering the highest quality aftermarket auto parts that are engineered for peace of mind. Thanks for using and viewing with TRQ.